Okay, cool. So
Hello and welcome back to what? Sorry, David.
No, it's fine. I was going to say who's going to go first.
I was hyping myself up. I got it. Now
Sorry.
I need to do it again.
Sorry, go on.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. I am your co-host Nick, and with me I've got my co-host David.
Hey, nice to see you all. Not see you, hear you, listen. I don't know. I'm here.
Smooth.
Yeah, no, that was smooth, wasn't it?
We're off to a good start. How have you been? How was your week's worth of gaming?
Not too bad. Trying to struggle to find the time to do it all, but it's fun. It's fun getting into games that you'd never pick up normally.
Agreed.
You know, I'd stick to weird like Japanese stuff or mainstream games. I like picking up weird games that you'd never normally play. Now, that was the case with Kane Lynch that we were reviewing today.
Most definitely. A big reason for this podcast was for us to start delving into genres and games that we never play.
Yeah, 100%. You're like, I'm looking forward to even the indie side, which I'll be honest, I've not even touched on. And they look pretty good, but I've never touched them. I feel bad.
They do, and I think we've got a great start on the indie scene.
Oh yes,
Inside the other week.
Yeah, the other indie
So
games
good.
better put it out there because that's a high bar to try to surpass. poor people.
The bar's been set.
No doubt.
So this week, David and I, we played the 2007?
Yep, 2007. Yep.
Yeah, the game Kane Lynch Dead Men on the PS3 and Xbox 360 from 2007. This was, I believe it was developed by Eidos Interactive.
Yes, but Eidos Interactive. Yeah, it is. It's the same franchise, pretty much the same franchise. I don't know if they were separate then or combined later or something.
These are developers that I really like. One of them made the Hitman series, and the other did the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
That's what I mean, and I must admit, I'll speak about that later because they are like when I saw the developer name, the publisher name, I thought I know that name.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I know that? Why do I know that from something? And then I later found out, yes, Hitman, like all the Hitman games, which are, you know, as we all know, are classics. You can't, you know, everybody should play a Hitman game at least once.
The new World of Assassination trilogy is so good. I don't know if you've played it, David.
I've not picked it up yet, but yeah, I've heard good things.
It's so good. We've got it on the list.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so please subscribe to the Critical Arcade Podcast so you don't miss the
No, exactly. And we've got some
episode.
really exciting episodes coming up. Like really, really exciting stuff, people. It's I'm excited.
So this week we played Kane Lynch Dead Men, the first entry in the Kane Lynch franchise.
That's it.
That released in the early HD era.
Actually released on 13th of November. It released on my birthday in 2007.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. There was a weird little trivia tidbit for you. It makes me feel old, but anyway. Yeah, like I said, I was pretty much a man still at that point. How old were you in 2007?
2007, I was 14.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
We don't need to do this.
No, we don't. Each time, don't we? Each time we do this, I gotta stop doing that to myself. But yeah, all right. 14-year-old. All right.
I'm not 14 anymore. Now I'm a man.
Man. And he has a beard to prove it, ladies and gents. He's one of those lumberjack types nowadays.
Yes, Kane Lynch. This is a game I've seen, and when I saw that was next on our list, I didn't get too excited because I thought this was just going to be another schlocky action game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your normal
generic, shallow. And I was 100% right.
See, I must admit I'm a bit biased with this because I was quite a bit older than you then, but my brother bought this game and I remember watching it with him as he played. So it's got that little bit of nostalgia for me. It doesn't affect the score that greatly in regards to the scores we both gave it. But there was an aspect I remember watching my brother play this and then me playing it today, which was quite there was a nostalgia aspect to it. Apart from that, it does have its troubles.
There are some shortcomings, but I must say I'm a bit jealous for that added sentimental value you've got.
That's true. Shame. No, a lot of my stories will revolve around my brother. I used to watch them. Before Twitch was around, it's what you did. If you had an older brother and he played games, you watched him play, sometimes played along. Which this game you can do, by the way.
Yes. That was a huge plus point for this game, was the couch co-op aspect.
Yeah, exactly. Which was, back in the day, apart from Halo and stuff, it was a big thing. A synopsis, really, if nobody else has heard of Kane Lynch. They're two guys who escape from prison, and the main gentleman called Kane, he's being... his wife and daughter are being held hostage, and he has to reclaim back money that they believe he stole. And of course, there's many a twist and turn in the story with how he tries to get it back, and the people who want it back don't trust him or allow him to do it that easily. That's pretty much the premise. It's true. It's like Nick was saying. It really doesn't have much more than that. It's got some good twists and turns, but that is the entire premise.
Yeah, that just a schlocky, generic action movie game premise, which for a lot of people is not a bad thing.
No, exactly. It's not. It's still escapism, even if it's a bit shallow.
So, that being said, I enjoyed the game, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. Left such a mark on me as Inside did.
No, exactly, and it wasn't even close to that. Like I say, like I didn't mind it. I think it had good aspects to it, and strangely enough, I think even though it doesn't sound like we like the narration much, I actually think the narration, the story was one of its best qualities. Because there was a few things that made me laugh personally, because the bad guys in this game are called the Seven, and we just came off doing the Killer 7 review, and it was almost like it was the same universe. Like all of a sudden, the people I were now the bad guys in this game. But I just thought that was just a strange coincidence. But I enjoyed it by all accounts.
Somehow it goes even deeper by. At some point, you realize that Kane, your protagonist, was a part of the Seven.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yes, exactly.
And
right.
then he got kicked out and thrown in jail, and then quote unquote died.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's spoilers.
What?
Spoilers.
The title of the game is Dead Men.
That's valid. I guess that is valid. I'll give you that. That's true. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. But okay, yeah, so the narrative it's fine. It's nothing offensively bad, but it's nothing to write home to either.
But it's like that. There's one aspect, I don't know if you I take it, but you didn't really get to see the co-op that much on your side. Because there was a fun little thing they did, which I appreciate they do. When you play as Lynch, you know how Lynch is a bit psychotic, ladies and gents.
Yes.
And so he sometimes goes into like a psychotic rage. And then when you're playing as Lynch, you'll see everyone as policemen. Every civilian, the co-players, everyone is a policeman, and sometimes those policemen will be wearing different sorts of animal heads. So as part of his psychosis... What? Yeah! When you're playing the other guy as part of his psychosis, you kind of experience the psychosis on your screen as well.
No.
Which is not a bad little, tidbit to add immersion. So it ties into the story. He has a few blackouts in the story, and you can actually play out those blackouts, which is,
that's excellent. I'm adding a point to narrative for that.
Yeah, no, that was quite fun. That's quite a fun part. But that sadly only unlocks if you play the co-op. If you're playing as Lynch during those times. It is quite funny. Like I said, it's funny. Like everywhere you look, it's all policemen trying to kill you fundamentally.
Well, that's incredible. I really like that.
No, it is
so good.
Yeah, I know. It's to their favor by all accounts. On the downside, they do love to use the F-bomb for. I don't mind the F word used, but this was their favorite word in this game.
That's another thing that I immediately picked up on this game. This game takes itself very seriously. Very seriously. And I can only equate this to being a part of a group of games that came out in the, coining this now, the early HD era.
Yeah, that's true. I'd agree.
Well, I think that's been coined.
Yeah, but it's fine. At least people understand.
But anyway,
yeah.
The early HD era, there were a lot of games that were very brown.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to be cinematic.
Yes, no, exactly. Where some people failed and some people succeeded.
This game takes itself very seriously
it does.
by throwing the F-bomb everywhere.
All the time.
There's one scene in particular where Lynch would have had a psychotic breakdown and Kane would scold him for killing innocent civilians.
That's right, yeah.
But while he's doing this, you as the player are mowing down hundreds of cops.
Yeah, he's a bit of a hypocrite,
destroying vehicle after vehicle.
Yeah, without a care in the world.
There's this pile of bodies that both of you would have just
No,
killed.
that's right. Every one of those policemen have kids and wives of their own and all that. Yeah, no.
There's this huge contrast. You have murdered. I think I played for 2 hours and I just murdered hundreds of people.
Yeah, you really did. Literally in the first 2 hours, you do murder a mountain of police.
And I can't. It was just this huge contrast of this game taking itself so seriously, but the gameplay is not playing along. It wants to give you that power fantasy.
You can see they try. Like I said, I don't know how... You didn't sound like you got that far. You go to Tokyo later on in the game.
Yes.
And that was quite cool. And you go to kind of like a jungle place later on. Which is kind of... They take you places, surprisingly. I was shocked by that.
I stopped just after you, quote-unquote, save your daughter.
Oh, yes, correct.
That's how far I've gotten, and I think you break into a prison.
That's right. Yeah.
In a very comical way.
Yes, yeah, trying to be serious. Yeah, but like I say, that was insane.
That was insane. Who does that? I'm sorry. The moment you do this break in, I'm not going to spoil it. People need to see this for themselves.
Yeah, I know.
The moment you do this break in, a lot of the guards on the watchtowers were shocked and surprised, as if they didn't see this coming for a mile or two.
That's true. They did. The AI wasn't the greatest in this game.
No, it definitely
not
wasn't.
even the slightest. But like I was saying, narrative-wise, they took you to more places than I was ever expecting. I thought it was just going to be like the generic in some American city somewhere and just continuing that. So that was fun, and some of the scenes were fun in those areas. But like you said, it was a lot of little bits of fun surrounded by a lot of just what is going on and unnecessary just noise and violence and
at the scene in the nightclub.
Yeah.
There would be some people chasing you down, some bouncers or whatever with flashlights and guns. I think the flashlights were a nice touch. It is a nightclub.
Yeah, that's true. That wasn't too bad.
But if you would start murdering again, then all the people in this nightclub would just duck their heads and run in circles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like chickens. That's all
Nobody
it was.
would run out.
No. You see, like I said, I've got some things written down which are actually quite interesting that later on. Because they planned this to be a really big franchise. You know that?
Oh.
Like massive. No. Oh, yeah. Do you know, like I said, do you know that they actually had a movie script down and Bruce Willis and Jamie Foxx down to play Kane and Lynch? Bruce Willis as Kane and Jamie Foxx as Lynch, which is a bit of a strange casting, but anyway. They had the script. They had them both signed down to play the roles. And then due to, I guess it would be a lackluster performance with the game and stuff, the movie kind of died. But they generally had those signed on. Bruce Willis was signed on. Jamie Foxx was signed on to play those roles.
That's insane.
Yeah. They were going to chuck big money at this franchise.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
There's a comic book release. There is a genuine comic book of Kane and Lynch that's actually released. It's supposed to be not too bad. And the other thing that made me laugh, as this game was also slated to release on mobile at the same time as...
No way.
Yeah, could you imagine playing this on your mobile?
The next thing you're going to say is there's a Kane and Lynch land in Colombia.
No, not yet. But yeah, they were really planning to put big money into this IP. And obviously it just didn't work. They must have really thrown some money away.
Well, they had a sequel, so I imagined that the executives told them, okay, you get one more try. Try this once again. Try it again.
But it was one of those eras when if you sold 1 million copies of a game, that was actually considered quite good. Whereas now, if you're not selling, I don't know, 10 million, 20
10,
million.
15.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean anything. But back then, 1 million, like especially physical copies, that was seen as a relative success. So they got the green light to do a second one.
Goodness.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was looking it up earlier.
That's insane.
Anyway, let's so the narrative, ladies and gents, it was all right. There's far worse out there.
Oh yeah.
But it certainly was trying to be a big boy, but in nappies, so to speak.
If only those protagonists were likable.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost like a cliched like 90s action movie storyline, which we've all watched 1,000 times before and know how they end. But yeah.
I mean, again, that's not a bad thing.
No,
for
exactly.
A lot of people.
No, that's true. There's nothing like Die Hard is one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. Which is just an American shooting Germans for like 2 hours.
So, the first thing I noticed when looking at this game is it looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
I started it up and I had to go onto, when I was playing it, I had to go onto options to make sure everything was on high. Because I was like, is this like defaulted to like medium or something? Because,
this can't be.
Yeah, so I had to go look and like make sure everything was on high, and it was. Which I was like, oh. Okay. And then even to some degree, I thought, okay, maybe I'm being mean, and I couldn't remember what came out in 2007. So I thought, okay, let me see what other big games came out in 2007, because maybe the graphics aren't that bad. And then I saw
there could be some
2007, BioShock, Halo 3, Mass Effect, and God of War 2.
Yeah, I think we got Portal as well.
Yeah, Portal, and then you look back at this, and then you look back at that, and you go, come on.
Come on.
Like, BioShock, I'm not 100%, but that was a new studio when the first game came out.
Irrational Games.
Yeah, that was their first, I think, or, their first big game that came out. And if you look at the graphics they did, compared to,
it's good.
The Hitman, the big boys, these are big boys, and they released Kane Lynch's graphics. They're subpar, to say the least.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It is definitely subpar. I wouldn't. The only thing that I thought was fine were the faces.
Yeah, the faces were alright. That's true. They had character and faults and stuff, which makes them more realistic.
That's the best bit of visual.
That's about as far as it goes. Yeah, visually.
Exactly, but it's still not great.
But yeah, it wasn't. If you compare its competition to what it was, they should have spent some of that budget with the movie and stuff and put it back into the game, because
it was lacking for sure.
It really is, and you can't miss it. Every aspect when you're playing it, you can't miss that. They could have done better, which is
they could have.
Which is a shame.
I'm sure in 2007 there wasn't the gap didn't seem so big.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know what you mean.
But now it's obvious.
Yeah, it's night and day. Like you can't, like I said, it just doesn't hold up. It doesn't even age well.
No.
Like there are games out there that age really well and are really the aesthetic and the graphics works with what you're playing, and it's you don't even notice. But this game, it's far too noticeable. There's even simple things like shading and shadowing and shine and light. It's just not there.
No, the environments were empty.
Yeah, bland.
There was nothing.
Bland. Yeah, that's right. And there was
street.
There was no draw distance like the street. No. It was like 100 meters square, and then there was nothing past that. There was little scenery bits, but there was no substance to it.
Bad. I think the only part worse for me was the audio. This was even worse than the visuals for me.
What it made me laugh about the audio is that whenever you're in a moment of the game and you're like, okay, what's going to happen next? The audio would always chime in before the gameplay part would happen. You'd always hear one of them say, okay, now watch my back. They're shooting at us. And then I'd look round and be like, there's no one shooting at us. But
no, they're not.
4 seconds later, people start coming down the stairs. So it was like, okay, how did you know that? But yeah, it was the audio was comical. I found it funny, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
It was like I said, it was hollow. The sound effects were very flat. I don't know what better way to put it. There was no.
in some cases, I found that some sound effects didn't trigger at all. No sound effects.
Oh, really?
They would be at the start,
Yeah,
when you're still captives in the back of this police truck and the police van crashed.
Yeah, and he says, hold your head.
There was no crashing sound.
No, it's true. I can't picture
Exactly,
it.
no crashing sound. White screen. All of a sudden, this van is tumbling. Oh, we're tumbling. No sound. No sound effects.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
It is funny, but like, and like again, I always try to play devil's advocate and try to be nice to it, and then I have to keep looking at my list where Mass Effect and BioShock and their sounds were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't I can't even say yeah, but this and this happened, because the sound effects like on BioShock, for example, were amazing. Were absolutely top of the drawer, top of the shelf, or what the analogies are. Were amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure. The first one I'm thinking of is when you enter Rapture, you can hear
Oh yeah, the best
splices echo through the hallways. Oh,
and that bit where there's that the whale is just swimming through the water as you're arriving into Rapture, and you can hear it and the water.
Stop it, David. I want to play BioShock right now.
Ladies, if you haven't played BioShock, play it. Just as a little tidbit there.
And BioShock's also on our list, so subscribe to the Critical.
No, it is. Yeah, no doubt. It better be on the list. So yeah, audio. Yeah, it was a thumbs down.
No, it's bad. It's bad. And some scene, I think it was in Tokyo, where you need to go to the pagoda.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Lynch, I think he killed the one bad guy's
daughter. Yeah.
And then Kane started yelling at him over the two-way radio.
That's right. Yeah.
And the actor was actually clipping the microphone.
I didn't notice that.
That's some horrible audio engineering.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's true. I didn't even notice that. But like I said, you've got the background in it, so I can understand how you'd pick those things up more than I would.
No, it was incredible. Actually, I can't believe that the audio engineers didn't pick up that the actor's actually clipping the microphone. No, that's horrible. That's
that sounds like it was rushed then, right? Because that's a simple thing. That's like a Starbucks coffee being on Game of Thrones. You know, something they should have spotted something as simple as that during a relatively, kind of intense scene in the game. It's not like a lackluster scene. It's, it needs some scrutiny. You can't just let, it's a shame. It is a shame. It makes it. I often think about the poor people who actually had that job, and you often hear the horrible stories in the industry, and you maybe wonder how much pressure those people will put under. And that's maybe why they missed it. I never know.
Yeah.
Like I said, but you hear horrible stories, and it makes me I always ponder these sides of things.
Yeah, these stories about crunch.
Exactly.
It's bad.
Super pressured.
No, we can keep those for the bonus episodes.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll look into those. Yeah. So audio is bad, but gameplay was worse, in my opinion.
You didn't like the gameplay.
Oh no, everything about this was. AI was insane. It had it had the same mechanic you get in Gears of War. I don't know what you call that, like the run and cover mechanic.
The cover system, yeah.
And this was just broken. There were parts where... Did you not experience it? It was so...
I've not played Gears of War, so I might not know what a good cover system is.
It's when you run up to an object and then you prone yourself against it and then you lean out to shoot, right?
Yes.
I first experienced that in the Gears of War franchise, and maybe it's not the first one, it was just the first one I picked up. Now, this has the same ability, the same part of the game, but the amount of times I had to run up to a wall and it wouldn't prone me against it, and then run back and run up and run back and run. I literally did little circles around this car, just trying to make him lean up against it.
Oh, you're right.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I did it. I did experience this. Oh no.
No, it was broken. And the worst thing is, you'd prone up against the wall, and you'd still get shot. Which maybe the shoot boxes or the target boxes or the hit boxes or whatever are a bit weird. But sometimes I'd come out of cover to shoot, but the bullets would be stuck into the graphics of the column or something like that. They wouldn't travel any further. So
yes,
and this is so frustrating when you're being pelted by bullets behind cover, but when you shoot from cover, it doesn't go any further than your barricade or your wall or your car.
No, that's bad.
I died so many times just because of that factor.
I remember I had a bad time the very first mission. Once you get out of jail, the very first mission, you need to break into a bank vault.
That's right, yeah.
once you climb over the wall into the parking lot, there's a security guard.
Yeah, those two security guards, right?
Oh, I got stuck on those two security guards.
Same here. I didn't know what it wanted me to do.
It didn't explain anything.
But one thing, to its credit, you just reminded me. I did like that little camera thing in the corner. When the security was alerted, they gave you this like little circular picture to show that they were about to call on their radio or sound the alarm. I thought that was a cool little addition. I don't see that often. I thought that was kind of funky. But those two guards,
that was kind of cool.
I must have restarted that about 5 or 6 times.
Same, until I realized, oh, okay. How did you get past that?
First, there's a guy standing outside a door, and
yes,
I snuck up behind him, and then this is what also unnecessarily I thought sneaking up behind him I'm going to knock him out. No.
Yes.
Sneaks up behind him, gets this weird little knife out of his pocket, and just stabs him in the neck like 3 times. I was like,
there we go.
Bloody hell! Yeah.
Why? This guy was going on lunch in 10
minutes.
He
was just having a cigarette or something. I thought that was brutal. And then I did that. And then it showed the little thing, and then the alarm went off, and I was like, okay, did that guy see me? Because sometimes that happens, like it clips wrong or something. I rushed him and then rushed the second guy, and I knocked them, or killed them both. I didn't shoot at all. What did you do?
I thought I had to be quick. Very, very quick. So I jumped the wall, and I sprinted towards him. He saw me, he raised his gun, but no, I was Usain bolting all the way up until his neck vein. And then once he died horribly, I might add, I just rushed the next security guard before he could raise the alarm. I don't know what I was supposed to do.
But like another great thing, and that again, the gameplay in this is so the AI would randomly just run out of cover towards you, and not even like fire at you. It'd be like bang, 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 and then all of a sudden they'd get out of cover and run like down the stairs towards you, so that you can just shoot them. It made no sense. But another little thing I did like, again, it's like I said, I like to say, I like that you could throw the grenades back. Did you notice that? When they threw the tear gas and stuff, you could actually throw the grenades back at them.
I threw a grenade back once or twice, and that was nice.
Yeah, it's a fun little addition. It's not amazing, but I like to see the silver linings where I can. I do like throwing a grenade back here and there. Which I think they do in Call of Duty as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's the first time I saw being able to throw a grenade back.
Yeah, same here, I think.
Oh, right. Two things that I had to deduct points. The absolute worst. The first was the gunfight out the back of the van.
Oh, that was hot. Yes! Are you going to talk about aiming?
How? The aiming. How is this supposed to work? I do not understand. This was not fun at all. I tried to aim, but it didn't let me aim.
It was broken. That was broken. The only way I could
broken. That's the word. It's broken.
I had to unfocus. Yeah, move the target dot, and then focus again was the only way I could have him move the gun properly. Because it would move sluggishly and really slow, or not go all the way to the right. Yeah, that was insane. And I used to dropping the grenades I didn't get one car. That bit was insane. Yeah, again, it felt rushed. Like they had to do that bit quickly. Did you even just see the graphics detail of the van and the other cars? They were so clunky and nothing to them. Even the heads that popped out the side of the windows to try and shoot you it was just poor.
It was poor show all around. It's just the nightclub all over again.
Yeah,
I would shoot out of the back of this van. There would be 5 police cars chasing us, but traffic would still just continue as if nothing was happening.
That's right. No, that's the yeah, and it's not old enough to get away with that. Like the old school PlayStation 1 games could get away with that, but not, like I said, if you tried doing that in Hitman, their other franchise, you had great AI chaos. You had all sorts of crazy things going on, so they should know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've got no excuse.
Yeah, this was the B team, if not the C team of game production.
The other moment that I really knew the gameplay was lacking was straight in the mission where you need to save your daughter. Immediately after a cutscene, you get thrown into gameplay. And it's in the middle of a high action set piece.
No doubt, very much so. and you don't know what to do.
Exactly. I don't want to spoil this, but you get thrown into the thick of it straight out of a cutscene. And I was very confused. I didn't know what to do. And I think it was 3 seconds after gameplay started, the mission ended. Somebody killed your daughter.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's true. Yeah, I know what you mean. And you're like, what was I supposed to do?
What was I supposed to do?
I wanted to save her.
3 seconds. All I have is a shovel. What am I supposed to do?
Then it's the exact same thing about the beginning of the game not telling you what to do, and it's throughout the whole thing. You're not told what you're supposed to do, not even narratively. Like somebody says, "Okay, let's run," and then you're supposed to run, or you're just left there alone to kind of fend for yourself.
I don't understand. It's bad.
It is. It's just bad, and it shouldn't be allowed. It is bad. From this production team, it's just bad.
Performance slots in very nicely with some shitty gameplay.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because
that is very true.
Wow. This is probably the lowest score out of all of these segments for this game.
Yes, no doubt. You gave it far lower than I did. But it's interesting, like the criteria that you judge performance by. How are you judging it exactly?
In this case, the frame rate was fine, but that's just because it's an older game.
No, that's exactly right. No, exactly. So you can't... Yeah, I agree.
Loading screens were also fine. Mm-hmm. They weren't a lot, and they were quick.
Yeah.
But I lost count with the amount of bugs that I experienced throughout this game, and it wasn't a long while. I think I played probably 4 hours.
Mm.
I just lost count with the amount of bugs that would just happen. It was just one after the other. Bug.
How so?
I couldn't believe it. Oh, what happened?
Yeah. What bugs did you experience?
Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
Would just shoot dead bodies on the floor for absolutely no reason.
Okay, yeah. I didn't really see that, but I got you.
In one instance, we would enter the diner at the start of the game.
Yeah.
The entire gang of goons would enter this diner, and then the last one, which I don't think should have been the last one, entered, and then he knocked out the only person in there who was the waitress.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That seemed brutal.
He knocked out the waitress with the butt of his gun, and then he yelled to everyone who he assumed have not entered the room, "Clear!"
It's okay. No, I'm with you. Yeah.
It was hilarious. I couldn't. And then another instance, they actually shot and downed Lynch in the van.
Really? I didn't. Like I say, that's interesting.
So Lynch was down next to me. He was giving the the general dialogue for "Help me up, help me up."
Yeah. That's right.
You know, I needed to revive him.
That's right, with the adrenaline, right?
Exactly, but I couldn't because we were in the back of the van in a scripted set piece.
Okay, I know. I'm with you. Like I said, I had issues with it, but like because I'd gotten so used to how bad this game was performing, I kind of let them go. But now you've mentioned it, it's all coming back to me. I remember I went to go help Lynch, and instead of going down and injecting the adrenaline into him, he ejected it into the floor next to him. Which was, I didn't even... Now I think about it, yeah, that's a problem. But I thought, yeah, that's about right for this game. It's,
early. Yeah.
Yeah, that's allowed.
Another one I remember, in the back of this good old van sequence.
Yeah, the van scene, yeah.
Cops would come from the left of the van. They would come from the right. They would come from behind. I remember one clear instance where a police car would come from the top of the van. The police car spawned on top of the van. It's almost like he slowed down and reversed off of the roof of the van and then landed in front of us, the player. That can't be. That can't be part of this game. So when I replayed that mission, because of some jank, it didn't happen.
Oh, okay. So it was a genuine bug.
It was a genuine bug, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's crazy. It ran okay for me. There were bits I actually kind of liked. During the loading screens, there was a bit of audio I thought,
Yeah, some dialogue.
which is a nice little bit. I don't mind that. I thought it's kind of like the whole Mass Effect, the lift scenes.
Then there'd be some dialogue.
Yeah, dialogue, and
Right.
the lift scene was your loading screen, so that you never actually saw like a loading screen. That's what those
Yes.
lift scenes were, and I thought that's
Yes.
clever. And I thought the little audio bits in this was an interesting way to keep you engaged, so you don't have that pause during the loading screens that some games give you. So I silver lining on that. But yeah, I obviously didn't have as many bugs, or I didn't notice them because I was getting too frustrated with trying to shoot past walls or just trying to aim.
So I think I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
Because I got bugs inside and you didn't.
No, I didn't. It's true.
I think I might just be getting these bugs more often than you. And I don't know why, because I've treated my PC well after all these years.
Yeah, no doubt. Your PC's is far better than mine. Mine's still running on a hamster, like I said last time. There's a hamster with a car battery attached to it.
I've scored performance very low.
Yeah, you did. Which is fair enough. Like I said, it's one of the fun things. We're supposed to see difference and experience things. It gives you a greater demographic to score with, which means our final score is just more got more data involved to it. It's how it should be.
Somewhere in this game, somewhere in this concept, there is something worth salvaging.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think I really do like the upside down buddy cop formula.
Yes.
Buddy criminal.
But yeah, exactly. The reversal of the whole buddy cop.
Yes.
No, it is quite fun.
I like that idea.
Mhm.
I do. But the execution for this game was not there.
Which just wasn't there. We're both in agreement on that.
The only thing that saved this game, which I scored highly, was the fact that this game does have couch co-op.
Yeah, no, I agree. Which was...
That increased the value for money tenfold.
Oh, massively. Okay, that's true. No, it's very true. And this was an era where that just didn't exist. Halo was pretty much it at that time.
Yeah.
Especially just local split screen. Everything was slowly going into the whole multiverse and multiplayer and all that type of play. This was you sit down with your brother or sister and play together type. Old school.
Yes, yes.
That was great.
Two people could get this experience, which, as you stated earlier, was different in a lot of cases for Lynch than it is for Kane.
No, exactly.
And you only needed one copy of the game.
No, exactly. And that is a big thing, especially now. Like,
Yes.
I enjoy multiplayer and stuff, but if you're a brother and sister, or brother and brother, or siblings would probably be a better way to describe it, you have to buy two copies to play multiplayer. If you got two computers next to each other, it's a bit of a, I don't know. Well, let's face it, everybody's greedy. It's another cash cow for the big industry.
It is. So this was a good move, adding couch co-op.
And like I should show you another little tidbit, another interesting thing. I was looking into this game. It's like it was something fascinating. I got to add just because I found it intriguing. You've heard of the company GameSpot, right? It's quite a big company.
GameSpot, yes.
Yeah, the retailer in America and all those other things, right?
GameStop.
Stop, sorry. Did I say spot? Stop,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, stop. Big company. It's in the news a lot because it's supposed to be kind of a horrible company to work for. But there was an interesting a controversy about this game. When this game first came out, they had GameStop's got a big gaming website too. Like, it was in, I'm not sure if it still does, but it was in competition with like IGN and all the other Kotaku type websites.
Okay.
And Eidos Interactive had, on that website alone, had the flash adverts. You could even get a skin like for the web page that was Kane and Lynch. And, it was big money was put into this online advertising, yeah?
Was this when this game released?
Yeah.
2007?
Yeah, correct. So
Okay.
and then one of the editors called Jeff Gerdsman, he was one of the lead editors of the website at the time. He gave the game a 6 out of 10, which, to be honest with you, is quite a nice. It's kind of a generous score.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, he was fired. The editor, within like 6 weeks of doing that review, he was fired. And then everybody was like, why this and this? And they were talking about Eidos, being did they threaten him and just like that? And it was closed for a while, and then a company, I think it was called Giant Bomb or something, I forget. It's another big...
Yeah.
They somehow, I think they bought the Game Stop website, I'm not entirely sure. But in buying that, they got to see some paperwork from back in the day. And Eidos Interactive threatened to pull their entire advertising revenue from that website if that review wasn't fixed. And so Jeff himself quit. So there's actual general proof that people or the production companies are buying off reviews. And it was one of the first times that there's actually paperwork to show that Eidos Interactive was actually threatening money to make sure that the review got a better... So the public would buy it. And
it's scummy.
Yeah, right? And no wonder everybody's always questioning these big websites and their reviews of games because, they're being... Some of these people being threatened. So what are they supposed to do?
Ooh.
Isn't that horrible? Yeah, I literally found that out just looking up this game. Horrible practice. They were literally... And ladies and gentlemen, the revenue, that would be a lot of money they were going to take away. This was big money, especially with Hitman franchise. Eidos Interactive was a big studio back then. Massive. I think they're owned by Square Enix now. Am I wrong? I feel
they got sold, I think, a couple of months ago. I'm not entirely too sure, but I think Embracer Group also owns... I don't know if they own Hitman now.
Okay.
I think they do.
Yeah, it might be. Like I said, but it's genuinely interesting to find that I didn't know there was any actual evidence of collusion, so to speak, or threats. And I found it. Yeah, it is. Isn't that horrible? Because I've always read articles about people not trusting the big websites, but this is the first time I've actually seen proof of that type of business actually being done.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to argue that this happened 15 years ago.
Oh, it's even bigger.
But I would put money down. Yeah. It is still happening today.
It's even bigger money today. What? It's like... Isn't the gaming industry bigger than the movie industry at the moment?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think I read it the other day. I'm not sure how accurate that was. But it's big money. And you think that would be far less money than what they're talking about today. No, it's crazy. No. So just an interesting tidbit. But for value for money... I think we gave the pretty much the same score almost.
Pretty high.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
All in all, I wouldn't say I regret playing this game, but I can definitely think of a lot of other games that I would have rather played.
This is the game that just sits on the shelf collecting dust now. Granted, physically, not digitally, but you know what I mean. It would just sit there and you'd be like, yeah, it was alright, but I'm not going to play it again.
No. For Kane Lynch Dead Men, we gave it a letter grade score of D+, which is very close to an F.
It is, but still not as bad as Digimon World. Which
we shall not speak of Digimon
I'm a
World.
silver lining type of guy. At least they did better than Digimon World. Like I said, I'm hoping the other Digimon World games are better, or I'm just going to get lots of hate from Digimon people.
I also hope it's going to be better.
Yeah, so do I.
I also hope that Digimon World 2 is very far down this list.
Yeah, so do I.
Could you? Yeah. Same here.
Same here.
Any closing thoughts, David?
Oh well, first of all, ladies and gents, we have to tell you what we're going to be playing next. It's a cult classic. I'm sure most of you may have heard it, especially people over the age of, say, 20. Twisted Metal.
Yes.
For the the PlayStation 2 was that?
No, Twisted Metal was released 1995 for the PS1.
Is that one? I must be thinking. I think there's Twisted Metal 2 as well, right? At some point. But yeah, I look forward to that because, like I said, I think it's one of the Carmageddon-esque games, and that was a big game of my childhood. Yeah.
And I know very little of Twisted Metal.
I've never played it as well, so that's always exciting. I love picking up games I've never played before. So that's next, people.
That is next. Please keep an eye out for our next episode releasing next Tuesday on September 27th.
Yeah, correct.
Thanks everyone for tuning in on this episode of Critical Arcade.
Yeah.
Tell your parents.
Catchers. That's it, tell your parents. Sorry, it's like a catchphrase now, right? We'll just keep saying
rolls off the tongue.
No, just keep saying it. Tell your parents. It could be like on our shirts one day when we print it out. On the back it would say tell your parents.
Tell your parents. I love it.
Okay,
now we have to do it.
No, we do. I keep thinking that every time you say it. It sounds like our catchphrase. So we'll just say that at the end now, each time. Tell your parents. I like it.
Yeah. You could follow the Critical Arcade podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Castbox, wherever. You can follow me, Nick Hendricks, on Twitter at It's Time for Nick. David, you got any plugs?
Well, yeah, if you follow me, I'll run away. That's about it. I don't really use Twitter and stuff yet. But not at the moment. I must admit, I'm not very good at the socials. But I should actually sign up. I'll give you that. You can cut this part.
There's nothing. No, you don't. No, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want any news, you can follow me on Twitter, or you could follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, for some twisted metal.
Hell yeah! Cheers.
Cheers.